For reaction, we're joined now by Jacob Zuma Foundation spokesperson Mzwanele Manyi for some reaction. A very good morning to you, Mr. Manyi. Thank you for your time. What is your reaction to the outcome, and perhaps will the former president be appealing this matter?
Good morning, Paul, and good morning to our viewers. I think just for a second, let's just remind South Africa what we're dealing with. Here we're dealing with a situation where the NPA Act is very clear that information that is in the NPA Act should not be given to any person, as it were. And we're in a situation now where that has actually happened. Now, to get this kind of a bizarre judgment is not only disappointing, but it's shocking to say what kind of a judiciary do we have in this country, that when the law is clear, that you're not supposed to leak any information, any document, anything. And this is on record as having happened and all of that. All we have is excuses why it happened and all of that. But the bottom line is that which His Excellency President Zuma is dealing with has actually happened. Things were leaked. On the 9th of August 2021, it was a public holiday. Courts were closed, but Karyn Maughan was given this information. That's just a classical example of a leak. Now, to have a court that is not going to recognize that and come with this kind of a bizarre judgment, it just shows that judiciary in this country is in the pits. We cannot have a situation like this. So what President Zuma is going to do is going to appeal this on an urgent basis. We can't have a situation where other people are above the law. This has got absolutely nothing to do with media freedom. If this information was given to media at the right time, when it was already filed in court, there would be no issue. We can't have certain people that are going to get privileged information under the guise of a media freedom. This is just a barbaric. You can't have a situation like this. So indeed, this is going to be appealed on an urgent basis because it's riddled with the errors in law and all of that. But lawyers will put papers and argue specifically what the issues are. But even sitting here as a non-lawyer, I can't see how did these judges arrive at this, where the law is very clear about what should not happen and what should not happen has happened. But you've got these judges that have decided that no, because it's put it down, because it's Karyn Maughan, it's all fine. This is bizarre.
Well, journalists are saying that this is perhaps a win for media freedom. You heard us speaking there to News 24 assistant editor saying that this is indeed a sign that the court took a very strong stand against former President Jacob Zuma, sending out a clear message when it comes to media freedom.
This is a win for corruption. This is a win for corruption. It means that you can have secret deals between NPA and certain journalists. You sitting there, Paul, as Newzroom, you didn't have this information at the same time as Karyn had it. I don't understand why Newzroom even hasn't got a problem with this. This is not media freedom. This is corruption. So what this judiciary is saying is that corruption is fine as long as certain people are actually the ones orchestrating it. This is really a corruption. You can't have a situation where certain journalists I'm not even dealing with the detail of what was in that leakage. I'm dealing with the principle of giving information before it is registered in court, before there's a court stamp, before it's recognized by the court. That information is still the property of the NPA. For the NPA to go around giving it to friends and all of that is against the law. Simple as that. So this is not media freedom. This is corruption. So this judgment is a judgment that is affirming corruption. This is a judgment that says NPA can have secret deals. This is really bizarre. So indeed, as I said before, this is going to be appealed for sure.
You say it will be appealed, but what would you say to critics who say perhaps this is another way to delay the former president from standing trial?
Judge Koen is on record. Anybody that says that is actually undermining Judge Koen, because Judge Koen went to town to explain that this Stalingrad nonsense does not obtain. He explained that whatever President Zuma has been doing has been within his rights, has been within the law. So this is on judgment. So whoever is saying that must then tell us that Judge Koen is not a good judge, because Judge Koen has dealt with this matter extensively. So anybody that continues to talk about President Zuma doing Stalingrad, that person is talking absolute nonsense, because the matter has been settled in court. There's no Stalingrad here. This is just another intimidatory attempt to ensure that His Excellency President Zuma does not exercise his right. He will exercise his right. He will approach the same court for appeal, and if they disagree, he will petition the Supreme Court of Appeal. So this matter is not about to end. We're going to take it to the nth degree.
Very well. Just perhaps, Mr. Manyi, veering off the subject slightly, we understand you'll be sworn in as a Member of Parliament for the EFF today. How does it feel?
No, look, I don't want to be dealing with this matter until the EFF has pronounced on the matter. So I think let's allow the EFF to go through its processes and pronounce on the matter, and then thereafter we can see if there's a need to respond. But for now, my only resolve is to be a positive force in the country to ensure that I assist the EFF in whatever the EFF seeks to do. But anything else, I think let's allow the EFF to make its announcements and all of that. As things stand right now, I'm just a ground force of the EFF to make sure that the 7 pillars, 7 cardinal pillars of the EFF are actually implemented. So until that happens, EFF has issued a statement. Let's hang 10.
And personally, perhaps, what are your feelings around going into Parliament?
No, look, I think, you see, once you become a member of an organization, it's important that you respect the discipline of the organization. It's got nothing personal here. What this has got to do with is the vision of the EFF. So I'm here as somebody that must be part of the arsenal that the EFF is using. So as to all of this, has got nothing to do with me personally. It's got to do with the strategy of the EFF, and I'm here to be an apparatus so that the EFF can achieve its mission. So I'm here, body and soul, to ensure that 7 cardinal pillars are obtained.
As somebody who really was imperative in starting the ATM, do you think that they didn't perhaps have the vision that you speak of now?
That is another propaganda. I never started the ATM. I've been saying this. The ATM was started by the church called TACC, the 12 Apostolic Church in Christ. Those are the people that started the ATM. I had nothing to do with the ATM. ATM was launched in 2018. I was still with the ANC at that time. I only joined the ATM, I think, 2019 in January as a going concern. I had nothing to do with the formation of the ATM. I've been saying this, and I don't understand why.
What about the vision? Okay, that's fine, fair enough. What about the vision? I mean, are you saying that there's a difference when it comes to the two parties and the vision going forward?
No, look, I issued a statement on this, a whole page on this to say why have I left the ATM. And I've said that I have not fought with the ATM, but I think here and now what is required is an organization like the EFF. The EFF is well poised to make sure that this country is saved from the deterioration that is going in. We already have business people, prominent business people, that are saying this country is in a failed state. The only organization well poised to save this country as we speak here and now is the EFF. The EFF has got the capacity to do this. It is the alternative that everybody has been looking for. If you look at the number of councillors they have at local, at municipal level, they've got over 1,000 of these councillors. So that's the organization that is ready. It's already in government. And as we can see, wherever EFF is governing, you can begin to see the change. You can see in Ekurhuleni, they've already exposed a whole range of corruption that was happening there with trucks that have just gone missing. So that's what we need at a national level. So indeed, the organization that is ready to displace the ANC in this country is the EFF. So now I'm calling on everyone, professionals and all, that the place to come to, let's consolidate our forces and support the EFF for EFF to achieve its mission. When the EFF achieves its mission, the country will be saved. We can't have this situation. The country is really going to the pits because the ANC is misgoverning this country. We need the EFF like yesterday. So there's no time to be wasted.
With the ANC misgoverning the country, I mean, do you not think that you've now found yourself in a position where you could possibly be, there could be some conflict of interest as the Jacob Zuma Foundation spokesperson, a former President Jacob Zuma ANC member? Do you not think that there will be a conflict of interest going forward, especially with the EFF amongst the top three biggest parties in the country?
What exactly will be the interest? Are you able to explain where's the conflict?
No, that's why I'm asking you. Do you not think that there will come a point where there's a conflict of interest? You speak about what the ANC is lacking, yet you're a spokesperson of the Jacob Zuma Foundation.
I think you're confusing issues. The Jacob Zuma Foundation is exactly that. It's a foundation. It's not a political party. It has got no political leanings. It is a neutral organization that is there for the development. So it's an NGO, as it were, that is making sure that kids from across the political spectrum are supported to make sure that development across the political spectrum is enhanced. It's got absolutely nothing to do with politics. The Jacob Zuma Foundation is not a branch of the ANC. Whenever I put on the Jacob Zuma Foundation head, I never speak about the ANC. I only speak about the foundation things and some of the troubles that His Excellency President Zuma is going through on legal matters. But it's got absolutely nothing to do with the ANC.
Very well. Thank you so much for your time, Mr. Mzwanele Manyi there, Jacob Zuma Foundation spokesperson, giving us some reaction to the breaking news and also some detail around perhaps a hint of what will happen today, being sworn in as a member of parliament for the EFF. Still to come,